Today on the show, we have Andres Bustamante with Keller Williams, the Nino team in Austin, Texas. Now, I am really excited to tell you more about Andres. And if you are a listener of our show, and if you kind of just zone out during the bio, I really want you to zone in only for the next 30 seconds because this is probably going to pique your interest. This is a really fun one today. So let me tell you about Andres. So Andres Bustamante was actually born in El Paso, Texas, to Mexican parents. He graduated from the University of Texas at Austin as a first generation. He also spent one full year in France with an exchange family when he was 16, and that helped him become independent at an early age. And when he was 19, he actually got his real estate license again at 19 years old. And this is the reason why he needed to figure out a way to pay for college. Now, being a leasing agent, he was able to accomplish this. He actually paid for his college education by being a leasing agent. Now, this is where it gets really amazing. His first ever sale as a 21-year-old was for $1.1 million. And at 23 years old, he decided to do real estate full time. Clearly, he's good at it. And he joined a team. Now, his first year full time, he earned Rookie of the Year. He sold 21 homes for almost 7 million in volume. That's in year one. Now, in year two, 37 homes for 17 million. And in year three, another 37 homes for 19 million. He's currently, by the way, guys, he's currently 26 years old. Now, visit all things Andres on his Instagram and TikTok at Andres Busta TX, AndresBustatx. Links to both of those will be in the show notes. Andres, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks, DJ. That was a great intro. I mean, that's the bio.
It is the bio, and I wasn't joking. You are fascinating to me, and
Thank you.
as a young man in this industry, to have this kind of success is amazing. It really is inspiring, and I'm so happy to. I don't know if you found us or we found you, but either way, this is an exciting interview for me. So let's start at the very beginning, which, by the way, wasn't that long ago. But let's start at this idea of being a leasing agent at 19. Sort of, how did you even know about that? I mean, at 19, you don't even want to know what I was doing. I was like bussing tables for for nothing.
Hey,
Um,
you do what you got to
how
do.
did you learn about the real estate?
Well, firstly, I mean, you ever had one of those moments in life when you just don't know what you want for your life?
Sure, every moment of every day,
Yes.
but
So that's how,
certainly when I was younger, for sure.
yeah, so that's how I was in college. I'm just like, I switched majors like three times. I was supposed to be doing
Me
supply
too.
chain. That yeah, then I was like, oh, finance. And then I'm like, oh, I want to travel abroad. Let's do international business. But one thing I knew for certain, I needed to find a way to pay for college.
Yes.
But I didn't want to have like that job to where it's like I had someone telling me what to do and this and that. I know a lot of us realtors can relate. So a buddy came to me and was like, dude, you should try being a leasing agent, a real estate agent. And that's how I really got into it because I needed to find a way to pay for college and I needed to find a way to make more money than anyone else could at that time as a 19-year-old.
Yeah, and they're just let's face it, there just aren't a lot of opportunities for 19-year-olds, right? Like
Yeah,
you get
no.
a minimum wage or a low paying job because that's what 19-year-olds get. And the fact that your friend came to you with this opportunity is truly amazing. I imagine you have a tremendous
Oh
amount
yeah.
of gratitude to that friend.
He's one of my best friends. He was my roommate he was my roommate for like 5, 6 years.
Yeah. Wow. So when you started as a leasing agent, what did that look like? How did that work for you?
Oh, it was insane. So it was back when we didn't have the Bluetooth for your phone to open lockboxes or anything. So I would have to go to like there was like 20 leasing offices in West Campus. That's where the university students mostly stay. So I'd have to coordinate with like groups of students that were living in the condo to be like, hey, I want to show your place. I have several clients that are interested. It was crazy having to coordinate that. Then I'd have to go to the leasing offices to get the keys. So no joke, picture a 19-year-old driving in his car with like 20 keys in the cupboard. And I would frantically be like, oh, is this the key or is this the key? And I had moments when the keys wouldn't work. So I'm just like, I turn around to look at my clients and I'm like, hey guys, I don't think we're going to be able to see this one. But they were usually older. So I was always like, oh my gosh, are they going to trust me? How is this going to go? Yeah, it was a
Did
lot
you
of
did you
funny
work mostly
stories.
with students?
Students, and I had several graduates. During that time, though, mostly students through groups
Yeah.
that I had joined. Every was 98, 95% of students rented.
Yeah.
So the apartments would pay me, the condos would pay me once I got them to
Yeah.
sign a lease.
It's such a brilliant strategy because obviously college kids have to live somewhere. A lot of times they're bankrolled by their parents as well. So getting, sort of that part approves probably a little easier because I know when I went to college, or I went to a school called Miami University in Ohio, and I think we had to pay the whole semester rent up front. I don't know if that's still done
Oh
these
wow.
days,
It's
but
pretty insane.
well, it was like $200 a month. It was
Okay,
so
that's
cheap,
true.
and it
Way
was like,
different, way different.
yeah. So it was they were like, we don't want to, the landlords over there were like, we're just going to collect it all at once. And so
Yeah.
yeah, but in your case, it was probably a really great idea because you could network with the people that you knew in classes and in your social
Oh
circles.
yeah.
And I imagine were you the only person in your social circles aside from your best friend who was also doing it? Were you guys the only two that were really doing it?
So my best friend actually did not end up doing it because he didn't have like he could not do it because of some certain visa requirements and
Ah,
whatnot.
sure.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I was the only one in the group and I was part of like four groups. I was part of the UT soccer team, University of Texas soccer team. So, and every year people would need a rent. So I would get repeat clients for 3 years. And once I set the systems, I would just tell the property manager, hey, I'm sending people over and they're pretty much sure they're going to sign. So it was like maybe $500 per bedroom.
Wow.
And as a college student, that's pretty amazing.
Huge. That's amazing. And then did you have the foresight at that time? And again, a 19-year-old, look, just that you're even doing that at 19 is impressive. But did you have the foresight at that time to think at some point these these leasing these tenants are going to graduate, and I don't know how many of them stay local or leave and go elsewhere, but did those relationships, like you said, you worked with them while they were in college every year, and then were you able to find the people that did stay after college, and maybe even continue to assist them?
Well, the thing is, my mindset wasn't really on that. I always
Sure.
thought I was going to be working in commercial real estate as a tenant rep with
Ah,
JLL because I had internships with them. But then I was like, I don't want to have an 8 to 5, and I had a set salary there. So my
yeah.
mindset was never really. It was more so I need to pay for college. This is what I'm going to do with the
This is just getting
rentals.
me through till I get to Jones Lang LaSalle. Yeah.
Yes, because I had an internship with them, and in my head, I was like, I'm too young to be a real estate agent,
Right.
and
And you
people.
are.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It was like people are not going to trust me. That was my mindset back then. That's
Yeah.
why I was saying, "Oh no, real estate full time." I mean, a lot of my friends would be like, "Dude, you don't sell a house, you're done," or "You don't do this, you're done." So I'd be like, "Oh yeah, they're right." It was yeah, the mindset thing wasn't there unfortunately at that time.
Well, I mean, you can't expect a young person at that age to have a healthy mindset around opportunity, right? You don't know what you don't know, and at the same time, you're also in college. You're like, okay, I'm going to go down this path. I'm getting a degree. I want to go into commercial. I want to work in for a more traditional commercial firm like a Marcus and Millichap, Cushman and Wakefield. Those are the firms Jones Lang LaSalle, as you mentioned,
Correct.
CBRE, places like that. And then you're like, well, wait a minute, I'm pretty good at this residential real estate thing, but I'm also in 20, I'm 20, 21, 22. But you did have success pretty early on, and you've had success every year. And so, as much as your mindset obviously has shifted, you are obviously incredibly skilled. And I think skill is oftentimes the missing factor for people who who are struggling. Its mindset is part of it, of course,
For
but
sure.
also just being able to do the job is not an that isn't. Let's talk about your first sale. So we're sort of I was sort of dancing around it. You're 21 years old. You have your broker or your realtor license, whatever they call it in Texas. I don't know if it's broker or whatever, but you're a realtor, and now again, a very reasonable thought. Nobody is going to trust me with this. I wouldn't trust a
Oh
21 year
my
old
gosh.
with my home. I just wouldn't. And you know what?
I
That's
know.
ageist, and it's probably ignorant on my part, but it's understandable. And so you are now in the position of, I got to grow. I got to try to figure out this. And you did. So tell us a little bit about how you got that first sale, which by the way was $1.1 million, which I am
Yes.
so impressed by.
I was I'm sitting in my dorm room cafeteria, and I remember this perfectly. I had just ordered something that resembled a pizza from how the dorm cafeterias are like the worst.
The
And
worst.
I get a call, and I'm listening to the guy, and I mean, you ever gotten one of those calls where it seems like a scam because it's too good
Right.
to be true? You're like,
Right.
dude, wait, what is that? He's telling me his budget. He's like, my budget's 1 million to 5 million. One of my friends referred me to you that you helped lease. And I'm sitting with my roommates, and I
In the
get
cafeteria.
yeah, I like, my expression changes, and I get up, and I'm still with my phone, and I legit told the guy, dude, I'm sure you're saying renting. So with a budget of 1,000 to 5,000, you can rent anything you want. And it's like, that rich velvety voice. It's like, you just know this guy is like super rich. So he's like, no, dude, I'm looking to buy. It's 1 million to 5 million. And I'm like, okay, I can help you. I hang up. And in that moment, I'm like regretting that I said yes, because I'm like, how am I going to figure this out?
Sure.
That was the moment when he called me. That's how it went. And I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah. So what did you do at that point? So you hung up and now you're like, okay, now I gotta put something together for this
I
guy.
had oh my gosh, I had a week. I learned all the lingo. Like, I didn't even know what an HOA was, and I had only done leasing, and these were students.
Yeah.
So the first ever tour, this guy is like very straight up. He'll say what he
Sure.
means, no filter. It was hilarious. Now he's a really good friend, and we go to the first meeting, and they're barely building this condo. It's the Austin proper downtown, beautiful building, and we walk in, and oh my gosh, the guy is just walking with me. He looks at the building inside the showroom. He sees the model in the middle, and in Spanish he says "No me gusta." That means I don't
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, no
And
good.
the sales rep was coming towards us. My client walks out,
Mm,
and I'm left alone with the sales rep. So I'm like, that was my first ever experience, and I said, dude, I don't know if this is common or anything, but then we ended up closing on a $1.1 million condo at the Independent, which was incredible. But all those thoughts were going through my head during
sure.
the whole transaction, like, I'm too young, this is going to happen. Crazy thing is, though, it was a lease referral, and that client is a really good friend of mine now. So it was just crazy how it all happened.
It is, and it didn't just happen, right? You had done an exceptionally good job for the tenant that referred this
Oh
person
yeah,
to you,
with all the rental
and
clients.
so it's there's some degree of luck in the sense of you happen to have done a great job for somebody that had somebody to refer to you, but you made that luck yourself, right? And so this is can happen to anybody at any age, and it did happen to you at an early age. You were able to convert it. You took it seriously. At 19, I wouldn't have had the emotional maturity to even know
And
what to do, so I am very impressed.
one thing I always say, leasing is so underrated. If you're barely starting off,
Yes.
I always say, look, find the top brokers, top teams, and offer the value of, look, you know what? I understand that you're extremely busy and your priorities are probably buying and selling. What do you have for lease that I can help you out with? And if you're looking to join a team, that's probably the best way to join a team. Offer value for free. And those leasing clients, they might buy, but it's always about who do they know that might buy as well,
Yeah.
because they know a ton of people.
I I couldn't agree with you more. Here in Chicago, I talk about that a lot when agents will come to me and say, I'm thinking about joining a team. What companies do you recommend for teams? And obviously there's a lot of them. And I say, there's plenty of teams you can join. I'm like, that's not really a problem. But I said, if you can bring value to a team, you have more leverage, and you can ask for more things. And if you can come and say, hey, I noticed your team does a lot of sales, but I noticed you aren't doing a lot of rentals. And for me, I think that we can feed the sales beast by working with these people as renters today, stay in touch with
100%.
them, educate them, blah 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 blah. When rates come down, maybe we'll be able to convert them over to buyers. um
I love
I
that.
I think that's an amazing strategy. I'm not
Huge.
every market supports that, right? If you're in rural Idaho or something, maybe there just isn't a rental market that could
Correct.
support you. But if you're in some sort of metropolitan area, Austin obviously being one, Chicago where I am, guys, there is so much business here,
So
and
much.
so much. And also most realtors tend to ignore the renters. They tend to move away from those. So there's not as much competition as well. So that is amazing to me. Now, you joined a team, which I think was a very smart move pretty early on. Was that your role on the team, was to be would it be the leasing guy?
Not necessarily, and, I joined the team kind of not really looking for it, but my company, the first company I joined, Housing Scout, was, like, only leasing, so
Sure.
they never did sales, and it was funny when I would call people, "Hey, this is Andres from Housing Scout. I'm looking to buy a $1 million condo." People are like, "Housing Scout, what is that?" So it was more so, "Look, I don't wanna be doing leasing as much, I wanna transition into the sales." And my mentor, I heard him on Bigger Pockets podcast, Dio Corzo, and I reached out to him because he was in Austin. And I'm like, dude, loved your podcast. I need to be on your team. I really want to get lunch. And I kind of provided some value. And he was like, I'm busy right now. Call me next week. Call him next week. I set the lunch, thankfully. This is like November 2019. And he's like, dude, I really like what you're doing. I want you to join our team. So that's how I joined the team. It was like me listening to podcasts to get as much knowledge. And a guy says, I'm in Austin. So I said, I need to join this guy's team. And they weren't
Yeah.
looking for any team. They only had two agents.
Wow. I encourage everyone to do this, right? Find the superstars in your local area,
Oh,
and you'd be shocked at how rarely they actually get reached out to by newer agents.
insane.
Yeah, and you might have to bug them a few times because they're busy, right? And but I know people that I've interviewed people on this show who go, if somebody emails me and wants to join my team, I typically ignore the first couple times they reach out, and or I'll just give them kind of a little bit of a brush off. But if they keep coming back, if they keep showing up, maybe it'll take a year of pestering me, but eventually they sort
Follow
of
up.
wear me down, and I'm like, okay, this person's serious. So it
Yes.
doesn't mean you have to be a pest, but I think this idea of being persistent and also helping a team solve a problem, right? So instead of just saying, hey guys, I don't really have a lot of leads, I'm kind of want to join a team so you can help me generate more business. Maybe you could find somebody that'll help you do that. But if you come in and say, hey, tell me about your team, where are you guys having problems, what's stopping you guys from growing, here's what I can bring, boy, you're going to
That
have a
is
lot of
so great.
success.
Yes, and like I said, they weren't looking to grow a team. They were only two agents, so I became the third agent. And I wasn't really handed down any leads because it was the first time they ever, well, I wasn't handed any leads. It was the first time they ever made the team, but I knew I wanted to join these guys because they knew their stuff. So any new
Yeah.
agents, the best recommendation I can make is look, the brokerage, that's important, but who's your team? For me, that's always been the most important. Your mentors, that's like a cheat code in anything you can do.
Yeah. Agreed, and could not agree with you more. And I love the fact that you said I didn't get any leads at all, because I think that also is a misperception sometimes when I will have younger or newer agents like yourself, who have had this incredible success early on, and I think the inclination is to think somebody probably helped them out. And it's not that people didn't
Yeah,
help you, but you source your own leads, you source your own business, you get support and mentorship and coaching
correct.
from your, I mean, I guess it's a team. It's technically a couple of people working together, but we're not talking about a team of 30 people. We're talking
Yeah,
about two
now we're
guys.
8. Now we're 8 and 2
Amazing.
transaction managers, so it's
Good for
quality
you
over
guys.
quantity for sure.
It's unbelievable. And so as somebody who's settling into your business, you're now in what, year 3 or year 4,
Year
basically?
3 full time.
Yeah. So, you've had an amazing run. I just want to go over these numbers again. So year 1, you basically did 21 sales, which is almost 2 a month. That's amazing in and of itself. 7 million total in production. Year 2, you went from 21 sales to 37 sales. So now we're at what, about 3 plus a month. Unbelievable. And then also last year, another 37 sales and for almost
Yes.
20 million. So you're doing three plus transactions a month in your third year. This is just incredible. It really is. Tell us how you're doing it. How are you finding your clients? And are they coming from referrals? Are they coming from? Are you purchasing leads? Where are you finding your clients?
I've never purchased leads. The biggest thing that I say has helped is sphere of influence, referrals, and social media. And one thing I want to say that's so important as a real estate agent is that we're storytellers. We have to know how to tell a story. And I remember perfectly when I was telling clients, look, buying a house is this is a great thing to do. But I was barely starting off and I didn't have my house. So I said, you know what? If I'm telling people to buy a house, why am I doing it? And also, kind of like, that's probably my biggest expense. So I looked at my expense sheet one day and I'm like, yeah, housing is about 1,000 to 1,300 a month. I need to eliminate that expense. How can I do that? House hacking.
Yeah.
So I bought a house that was 4 beds, 3.5 baths, lived in one room, rented out the other three. And while I was living there, I was living there for free and making $300 of cash flow. But the biggest thing about this, what's most important, the reason I'm saying this story is because I knew my target audience. I knew that I wanted people that have a big misconception. Oh, 20% down. That's such a big misconception. And we're also
Sure.
educators. So we should teach people that. Then also, oh my gosh, I have a lease that ends around this time and this and that. Oh, I just graduated college and I can't afford this.
Yeah.
So I got that misconception and I made a post when I bought my house. Hey guys, I'm 23 years old and I had a big misconception. I thought I had to put 20% down. I had just graduated college and everyone told me this was a bad idea and this and that. But you know what? I did it and now I'm living for free. And when I told that story, all my friends that could relate to Andres did it. He was doing what I did. I just graduated. They all reached out because of the relatability of a story, as opposed to me
Yeah.
saying, hey, I just bought this house. I just sold this. It's like, dude, what's the story behind it? What did you help achieve? And that's when you make it relatable to your peer group. And that's when people reach out because they can feel it. Like it's them, you know?
Yeah, boy, I am so there's a lot that you just said there that I'm processing because it's also perfect, I think. Um I am, yeah, I'm a little you've actually flummoxed me a little bit because I'm so used to hearing very similar stories, and that this one is more unique. But this idea of story selling, you said a lot of things. Number one, first, buying your own property at such a young age and house hacking and saying, hey, here's an opportunity where I can actually live rent free. And not only do I live rent free, I make a few $100 a month on top of that, which is awesome. And I get all the depreciation from being an investment. Yeah.
Amazing.
So
Oh my God. Yeah. There's so much there that I can talk about for sure.
it's yeah, your accountant is probably very happy with you with
Yes.
invest. And you have more than one property now. How so tell us
Yes.
how that's evolved.
So I love talking about this. So I harp a lot about new builds. Why new builds? Okay, resale you might close within 30 to 45 days. What if someone is telling you, dude, my lease is in 10 months, but I really like this price? Well, us as problem solvers, storytellers, educators, that's our job to find a solution to the problem. So a lot of people told me, oh, 10 months from now. Oh, great. What I would tell them, okay, great. What if there's an opportunity where you can lock the price and within 10 months the home is built? People are like, oh my gosh, let's do it. So we would go under contract for new builds for a low deposit, like 1,000 to 3,000, and people would walk in on, no joke, 100,000 plus in equity. This was when the market was starting 2020, 2022.
Sure.
So the new build strategy was insane. And I bought another house even though I hadn't fulfilled that 1 year requirement as an owner occupant. So a lot of people know you can do 3 to 5% down with a conventional if you live in it for a year. But I wanted my next house because I was so excited. I got the bug, and I found a builder that they did not finish the house until like 10 months from then. So I put this house under contract 2 to 3 months after getting my first house, and I locked the price. When I closed on that house a year later, it was selling for 100,000 more. So what I did was get a home equity line of credit on that house, 80% of the equity, and now I'm a hard money lender to some of my clients. So with I
Amazing.
know that crazy with the HELOC, I lend money to people. I have 120,000 line of credit.
It's incredible, and I think all of this is mentorship, right? And coaching, and
Oh,
having
yes.
people that know
So
this
important.
stuff, and
Huge.
you have the ability to now be a really an educator, I think, and you're just like, hey guys, this is. You, I think living the experience, like you were saying, is really compelling, and it does obviously social media is all about shared experience, and so you have the ability to explain these processes in a way that educates and entertains and really inspires. And I imagine, I'm curious, what percentage of your clients come from social media now, that people have been sharing your stories? And
I would say about 25 to 30%.
wow.
And the big thing here that a lot of people don't understand is, look, you meet new people. Don't ask for, obviously, no one's going to ask for an email. That'd be way too weird. But it's like, hey, dude, I had a great time. Be intentional, firstly. But hey, I had a great time. What's your social media, your
Yeah.
Instagram? You get them on social media. The big thing here is you need to show people what you do. It's not like they're just magically going to guess. So I put like 2 to 3 stories of what I do and not just real estate related, but hey, I go to the gym. People want to relate with you on a level of not just real estate. Oh, real estate stuff. And when people start seeing that a lot, they're gonna be like, oh, in my head, Andres real estate. I'll relate both of them. So
Yeah.
putting stories on social media has been something that is crucial. And anytime I meet someone new, I get them on social media so that they can start getting the seed planted. Oh, Andres real estate. I keep seeing him. He must be doing great. His team did 98 million in volume, which is what we did this past year. Oh my gosh, the relatability, that's so important.
So yeah, you're talking about branding. So this idea of creating content on social media that reminds people what you do. What we think about. I was thinking about this the other day. Or yesterday. I was driving home, or here back to Chicago from my parents' home, and I was going a different way, and I noticed a big McDonald's sign out in the distance, where it was attached to a gas station, and I thought, you drive by, on highways, you drive by all sorts of fast food places. And I went, I wonder how important it is for McDonald's to have that sign there. And because what it does is it just reminds me about McDonald's, right? We're talking about branding, and we need to be constantly reminding people what we do in a way that isn't pushy. And so I think stories and reels and the little video clips on social media is really a great way to do that, because you can do these little short clips of like, here I am at the gym, here I am at a showing, here I am, making dinner, whatever it might be. How were you doing 2 to 3 of those a day? Or are you doing 2 or 3 of those a week? What does your social media calendar look like?
Honestly, anything that I'm doing, I might do like, yeah, I would say 2 to 5 nowadays. Today, I'm big on morning routine. That's one of the reasons that I've had the success that I've had. I do the miracle morning, and I went to the gym 5:20 in the morning, and then I did sauna after, and I posted like a little picture. Hey, who else does sauna? Or what do you guys think? Cold plunge or sauna to get people engaged. And then before the podcast, I was like, oh, I'm excited for this podcast. A little story. I mean, people start seeing that, like, oh, this guy's on a podcast. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
he must be doing great things. So I had my team meeting today. I have my team meeting every Monday at 9:30. And then I made a video on TikTok asking my agents, like, what's the best way to get leads? What's the best way to get each one? So it's, oh my, social media is, you just take like 5 seconds on a story. It's so easy to do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think people can do this too if, with their existing sphere of influence. So in social media, you were saying when you meet somebody who's, a civilian, somebody who might be a potential client, not a realtor, maybe you'll get their email if you're lucky. But most important thing is social media, because not only
Yes.
will you be able to brand yourself to them, you'll also now know what they're into, what they're all about, right? When you're scrolling through and you see that they just went on a vacation, or that they have some major life event, it gives you an opportunity to want to to then reach out and say, hey, I noticed you just did X, Y, and Z. So do you use it for like a little bit of research and development as well, so you know what to?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Like anytime I do it for research and development, but I'm never like the guy, hey, like send me your email. No, I'm very intentional about it, like with the stories and whatnot. And I've had a lot of people reach out. Hey, dude, I didn't know you were doing real estate. That's great. And when I see them again, they're like, dude, you're doing so much in real estate. Like
Yeah,
I've joined soccer teams. I've Toastmasters, probably the best thing anyone can join. Toastmasters is a public speaking group and it's worldwide. That's probably the best thing I've joined, and now I'm vice president of membership. So all the new members, they're the one that talks to me. So
smart.
it's been amazing, and every month we get like 20 plus members,
Yeah.
20 plus new people that I get to meet. So yeah, no, that's been great. All the groups I've joined and being intentional about that.
Yeah, it is so much this. Your net worth is directly connected to your network, right? Like we know that it's an expression, it's said, your network and your net worth are kind of connected. And it's like, yeah, and now you have to think about how to remind your network what you do without holding your hand out all the time saying, are you ready to buy? You ready to buy? You ready to sell? Ready to buy? And the
Yes.
way that you can do that is by sharing your experiences of daily life. And it's, yeah, go ahead.
And one other thing that I would say that I do with my business partner, we host meetups once a month to also be like, oh, this guy's like doing meetups and bringing these type of guests. It's all perception is so important. And last week we had a meetup. We had 60 plus people, and I got three new potential buyers, so that was incredible. And then I hosted a home buying seminar and I got four potential buyers. I'm pretty sure two of them are for sure going to buy. This is last week. So that's already six potential buyers.
Wait, let's back up. Is it, how do you get six? So 60 people showed up to, was it a house
The
hacking
meetup.
seminar?
It was awesome. Now I don't really do the house hacking seminars
Sure.
anymore. If I do it via Zoom, but it's more so we every month, and I'll send you some pictures about it. Every
Yeah.
month we have like a guest speaker, and this guest speaker was David Tupin, a good friend of mine. He's a big apartment syndicator, 27 years old. This guy's killing it. And it was all through posting on social media, and I put it up on Eventbrite so that then anyone that signs up, I get their email.
Yeah.
So I have 60 plus, I mean, 80 people signed up, 60 came. So I have
Yeah.
all their emails. I got a photographer for that event. I made a Facebook group for it so people start joining. It's insane. And I recommend any realtors do that, like hosting a meetup and getting people to see that, getting a photographer, the connection there. Oh, it's been huge. That has helped a lot as well.
Yeah, it's, gosh, you've got my head spinning in a couple different directions, because I am now inspired to do some more of that on the recruiting side. So boy, you're inspiring me. So this idea of doing, what we're really talking about is providing value. So, you're big into branding, which we've talked about. I mean, making sure the people in your sphere know what you're doing, and sort of unconsciously reminding them that, oh, by the way, I'm a realtor. And then we're talking about education, making sure that we're giving back to, these people who might not know about, for example, the 20% myth, right? The 20% down payment myth. I know that was always a major one for me, was like,
Oh
well, if I
yeah.
want to buy a $400,000 home, I don't have 80,000 in cash just waiting, to put down. So I just always assumed that that was out of reach for me when I was a younger person. Nobody sat down with me and said, well, there's actually some other ways you can do this. And I didn't know what I didn't know. So I think there's this huge opportunity. And it's not like once somebody gets to a certain age, they all of a sudden start understanding how home lending works. I mean, some people never really get it until they have to make that decision, and then they learn on the fly. I mean, that's how it worked for me. It was like one day I went, I wonder if I could afford a home, and then I Googled it, and then I was like,
Yeah, it's like,
oh, there's all
"Oh,
these different.
what?
Yeah,
Let's go."
and it would have been such a great opportunity for somebody in my life to say, hey, you don't have to Google that. I know this stuff. I'm going to sit down with you and go through it. So you either learn it by Googling, or they're going to go to somebody, and eventually they're going to go to somebody to buy the home anyway. But this is an opportunity to sort of establish yourself as the knowledge source. And by the way, these events that you're doing, I'm assuming you're getting other people to pay for the events, or maybe you're paying for
Oh,
them. But
yeah. Yeah, it's dude, it's all about how smart you can be. I have my title and lender people paid for everything. Everything. So it's like, "Look, you can promote yourself right here," and we have a really good relationship. We're gonna have 60 plus people. They're like, "Dude, we're game." So they paid for the full venue. Oh, it was amazing. Like, yeah, we had such a good turnout.
I love that. What would you recommend? So this year, okay. So let's talk about 2023, because we are in a higher interest rate environment than we were 2 years ago. We're in a low inventory environment like we were 2 years ago. Um, so there's a lot of realtors out there. So now I do want to talk about mindset for just a moment, because it's easy to get a little bummed out this year. I think it's easy to take in and absorb a lot of the media, um, sort of the stories about the housing shortages and the rates being obviously higher than a lot of buyers would prefer. What are you doing? And if we, I'm sorry, and we're looking at what economists are saying are going to happen this year. Pretty much across the board, economists are saying this is going to be a tough year. So I don't want to pretend that it isn't. That doesn't mean that there aren't amazing opportunities this year. And I'm curious, because I know mindset is everything for you. What are you
Yes, sir.
doing to stay motivated and stay productive despite some of these challenges in the market that you just obviously can't control?
For me, and this is like straight up, I don't believe in motivation. I think that's like
Me
for
neither.
me,
Here. I'm with
BS.
you.
Yeah, that's for me, that's BS. So one thing, and I know a lot of people are gonna say, like, oh my gosh, the morning routine is just so important. Like, I don't do my morning routine one day and I feel so different. And it
Yeah, me
goes a little
too.
something like this. I'll wake up at 5:20 a.m. I'll do my bed because those little wins are crucial. I'll get to the gym around 5:30, do 1 hour, then I take a cold shower. That has helped me a lot because whenever you are induced into stressful situations, you kind of get used to it. Because I hate cold showers, I don't like them. But it's like it's a stressful situation that it's like, dude, you get used to it first thing in the morning. Let's go. You're gonna
Well,
be ready
but
for
hold
it.
on. I want to pause for a second. Let's talk about the benefit of a cold shower. So this is important because I've done this. I did this for about 6 months straight, and it's debatable whether it's healthier for you. So we're not going to talk about the healthiness of it as far as
Yeah.
physically. But here's what I will tell you, and I'm curious, Andres, to get your thoughts. If you can endure, so the reason to do a cold shower, forget if it's actually healthier for you. I don't care. Here's why you
Yeah.
want to do it, even if it's bad for your body. Here's why you should do it, because it's one of the hardest things that you can do every single day that's
I hate,
physical.
I hate
I,
it.
I hate it too. And I need to get back into it. If you tomorrow, I encourage everyone who's listening, try to survive 10 seconds, just 10 seconds, all the way cold shower. If you can survive 10 seconds, then tomorrow try 15 seconds, and then that 20 seconds. Eventually you'll be able to survive in it. It is still, at least my experience, every day it was like, it never really got easy. It was always brutal. But when I was done, which, you end up taking a 1.5 minute shower because you just get through it as quick
Yeah,
as you
you're like,
can.
dude, let's go.
But when I would step out of that shower, and I don't know what the magic is or the endorphins that are firing, but it feels like you just ran a marathon and you won. So
It
do you
feels
feel that
amazing.
same way when you step out
Oh
of the cold
yeah.
shower?
Yeah, I feel so amazing. But every day I dread it. I'm like, "Ugh." But
Me
now I
too.
just go into it. It's the 5 second rule, like everything in life. Dude, don't think about it. Don't think, just do.
Yeah.
boom, you go into it. Even though I
And,
don't
and what
like
we're really talking about is tolerating discomfort, because anytime you
exactly.
want to grow in life, whether it's your physical body, if you want to get stronger, obviously you got to lift heavy weights, which is going to be painful. I just came from the gym. It's brutal. And you came from the gym as well today. And also when you want to, improve your business, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to learn how to tolerate failures, discomfort, challenge, and is something as simple as a cold shower. It sounds like it's not connected. I am telling you, doing it will put you in a mindset of I just did something really crazy hard first thing in the morning. Is that sort of how you feel?
Yes, definitely. That's perfectly well said. The cold shower helps a lot with that.
Yeah. It sounds silly, but it's actually really, really important. So, okay, so you start your morning, you go to the gym, you take a cold shower. What else do you do in the morning?
Then I do meditation, transcendental meditation, which is great. I got a teacher
TM.
for
Yeah.
that. Yes, exactly, TM. I got a teacher for that and just finished those classes recently. Then I do affirmations, visualizing, and scribing. Scribing is like writing things down. And funny enough, I want to show you this.
Sure.
I do my top three tasks that I'm going to do for the day, the night prior. So I know at
Smart.
least what my routine is going to be. And then I don't know if you can see it, but amazing podcast is right here. And I check that box because I want to put myself in the mindset that I'm going to have an amazing podcast. So it's already done for me. Like before the podcast, I said, I'm going to have an amazing podcast. And I checked about that box to kind of get myself into that headspace of it's already been amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really smart. And this idea of setting your day, not just with your to-dos, but here are my three big wins. These are the three big things I need to get accomplished today, or here's what I need to focus on today. If you can do that at the beginning of the day, then when other things come at you, because things come at you all day, you're able to filter a little bit better, because you're more easily able to say, okay, something just came at me, it seems urgent, is it actually important? All right. Or, oh, it's not that
Correct.
urgent, it's not that important, because now, as opposed to being just reactive, something comes in and then I want to take care of it right away, there's an inclination to want to do that. But what I like about you is you've prioritized your sort of lists per day. You know the three big things you want to accomplish, and you do it the night before. Again, this all sounds like, life 101, but it's really, really important, and a lot of people don't do it. Did I last night wait, before I went to bed, list the three things I needed to do today? I didn't, and I should have, because then when I got to work today, I was like, oh god, now I have to make a list of what I'm going to do today.
Yes.
So let's give another shout out to the Miracle Morning. And it's not a
Oh, yeah.
coincidence that after 5 years on this podcast, and 450 plus episodes, the number one most recommended book, the two most recommended books, are Millionaire Real Estate Agent from our guests, which is Gary Keller, famous book about how to build a real estate business. And then number two for mindset and just setting up your day for habits. Miracle Morning is right up there. Al
Yes.
Elrod. Um, tell me about how the Miracle Morning has really changed your life.
Yeah, we're going on the base of motivation. Like we said, motivation, don't really believe in it. It's more
Yeah,
so discipline.
it's
So it's
yeah,
really look, okay, I'm feeling top of mind so that I can best help my clients because in order to best help my clients, I need to feel my best. And
yeah.
whenever I do my miracle morning, I feel my best. But it also goes back to what are my goals? And by looking at my goals, that'll help me stay disciplined when motivation is not there because I 100% assure you, motivation will not always be there. So once you develop that discipline, boom, it's great. And one of the best ways to develop that discipline is doing a program called 75 Hard. I do that
Tell me
every
about it.
year.
I don't know this. Tell me about it.
Oh, perfect. And I do it every year since I started in real estate. 75 Hard by Andy Frisella, Major G. That guy's amazing. And it's 75 days, no alcohol, strict diet. You also have to read 10 pages of a book. You have to work out twice. And of those 2 days, of those two times, one has to be outdoors. So minimum
Gotcha.
is 45 minutes. So you do your workout maybe in the morning, and then you do your other workout whenever you can. But the thing is,
So
and also you have to
two workouts a day.
yeah, 2 workouts per day. They can't be
Wow.
like after each other and they have to be
Sure.
45 minutes. So the big thing here is whenever you say I can't do this, what you're essentially saying is I'm not making this a priority. And
Sure.
with 75 hard, if you don't do one of those tasks every day, you have to start all over. So 2 workouts per day, drink a gallon of water, 10 pages of a book, diet, no alcohol, and take a progress pic. And there's an app for that. It's amazing. But the big thing here is like, dude, I have a lot going on and I have to schedule time for my workouts. I have to
Yeah,
schedule
you don't
time
have
to
time to
read.
do that, and so you're making
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
But then the big thing here is you develop that discipline to where it's like I know what my priorities are because I'm doing this program as well, and I have to work around the schedule that can make it work because I've had times, no joke, I'm at a conference, it's 11 p.m. and we're going like everyone's going out for drinks, I'm drinking water and it's like, "Oh my gosh, dude, I forgot I had to do my workout." So I've legit told my friends, "Guys, I'm going to walk around the city for 45 minutes. You guys just wait here." I've done that so many times, and it's actually hilarious.
But it is life is so much about habits and discipline and motivation. As much as I love when motivation does hit, it is a
Oh,
rare
yeah.
thing for
Feels
me.
good.
Discipline is what wins the game. Motivation is just when you have a lucky day, I think.
Yes. Yes.
This is all just great stuff. I really encourage everybody out there as we're wrapping up to think about, what are the habits that you could cultivate this year that would help you move the needle in your business? Is it a lack of follow up? Is it a lack of meeting people? Is it a lack of maybe your social media isn't very strong, or maybe you're not doing enough outreach to your sphere of influence? Or whatever it is, a different skill you want to develop. Maybe you don't know anything about investors and you want to start learning about house hacking or first time home buyers or any of that. You can put a plan together and get a community around you as well and get involved. And then really start to hold each other accountable. It's all about habits and discipline. Andres, I am so excited to continue to watch your progress. You have provided incredible value because, again, I think in this conversation, we really talked a lot about mindset. We talked about habits, discipline, and working smart. And you gave some incredible advice. Find a team, get a mentor. Read the Miracle Morning. Come up with your day before the next day. Make sure you know what you're doing, and then and also staying in good physical shape. I think not enough is said about the benefits of being in strong physical condition. This is a physical job that requires a ton of energy, and energy is important. And if you want to be a great realtor, you're going to have a lot of energy. And I
Yes.
think, get your physical body in order. This is the year where you can get your physical body in shape, you know, partner up with other realtors. Like everything counts. So you can get together and that. And by the way, that's another opportunity. If you want to do a meetup, you could find an accountability group of exercise people. That's another way to meet people, right? So
Yes.
you're involved in Toastmasters, you're involved in all these other things. And by the way, at Toastmasters, you're probably, the 20 new members every month. You're probably like, hey, by the way, what do you do? And they're going to ask you what you
Yes.
do. Yeah.
Always. And last thing I do want to say, because referrals is a big part of my business, whenever I do a buyer consultation, big thing, I ask for people's birthdays, if they have kids, if they have dogs, if they have favorite wine, whatever. And then for my follow-up or whatever, it's like I send them stuff for their birthdays. I send them, so it's just top of mind because they always know people, but that's at the buyer consultation so that I'm not asking it like around other things and all, but
Yeah.
just get a list of questions and you get all that stuff and that's just, you
Gives
know,
you reason to reach
little
out.
touches. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of times I know agents will say, "Well, I don't know, I don't really want to call my friends. I don't really. It's like, well, if you, do you know their anniversary? Do you know their birthdays? Do you know their kids' birthdays? If you know those events, then you do have a reason to pick up the phone, and you don't have to talk real estate, but you do have to demonstrate that you care. And I
For
think
sure.
have getting all of this information in your database, in your CRM, about birthdays, anniversaries, major life events, allow you to then pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I know it's your kid's birthday today. Just wanted to wish so and so a happy birthday." Like that in and of itself is massive.
Huge.
All right. Well, we're gonna cap this one off here, this episode here, because I could talk to you all day, and I'd love to have you back in the future. Your future is going to be so impressive, I'm sure. But Andres, really, really appreciate on behalf of the audience your time today on our show. If anyone out there is interested in, maybe you're a realtor in the Austin area and you're looking to maybe partner up, or maybe you'd be a good benefit to Andres's team, you can reach out to him. He's with Keller Williams, the Nino team. Or if you're a realtor maybe in another area of the country and you have clients that are moving to Texas or the Austin area, and you're looking to refer business to another realtor, Andres would love the opportunity to work with you. But if anyone wants to reach out to you, Andres, or maybe somebody's just looking for a realtor in the Austin area, a buyer, seller, investor, etc., what's the best way they should reach out to you?
Instagram for sure. It's at Andres Busta TX. ANDRESBUSTATX.
Awesome. And on behalf of Andres and myself, we want to thank our audience for continuing to listen and support our show, support our sponsors, support Andres. Check out his Instagram, check out his TikTok, Andres Busta TX, and also send him your referrals. He's a great agent. He's killing it as a young man, growing, getting in this business. I'm making a prediction live that you will be one of the National Association of Realtors 30 under 30 within the next 3 years. So
Thanks,
this is
DJ.
this is a young
I
man to
appreciate that.
watch, and we're excited. And we will see. We're going to ask everybody to do just one quick thing before you leave the episode. Please tell a friend. Think of one other realtor that could benefit from hearing from Andres, and send them a link to this episode. KeepingItRealPod.com. They can stream every episode we've ever done, or just go to any podcast app, search for Keeping It Real, hit that like and subscribe button. We would appreciate it. Andres, thank you so much for being on the show. Man, I'm so proud of you. You're crushing it, and excited to watch your ascent as you continue to climb the mountain. So keep it up.
Thanks, Jay. I really appreciate that.
All right, thanks. We'll see everybody on the next episode. Thank you.